how do players like Randy Rhoads or Rusty Cooley play so fast, and how is their pinky finger so good? And so I took a couple minutes and literally looked at my hand and then looked at their hands, and I thought to myself, they don't match. We look completely different when we play. Their pinky finger is very stiff, whereas mine is very fluid, and maybe that's the secret. And then everything clicked. I figured out the real reason as to why my finger looked the way it did. And the reason is because when I used my pinky, I had zero structural integrity. What I mean by that is I was trying to get my speed from these two knuckles and truly flex my pinky over and over like this, which playing like this, if you try and do it yourself, I don't even have control over it without moving the rest of my fingers. No wonder it was so slow. Whereas when we look at a player like Rusty Cooley, he's getting all of his speed and dexterity from this muscle on the side of his pinky. Unfortunately, I don't know what this is called compared to the knuckles up here, but when he was playing, his finger looked like a hook, and he was getting his speed using this muscle here. So he had this sort of emotion versus this sort of emotion. And this is so sad that I can't even move just this one finger. But this explains so much. And this is how they kept their precision and their dexterity and also their stamina. And it makes sense too, but this is something that I just never realized. If you take your index finger and do the exact same thing, you can move it much faster going like this from the ball joint or the main knuckle of your finger versus trying to do this over and over. And of course, if you played like this, you could tell, you hopefully could be able to tell quite obviously that this is incorrect. But when your pinky gets used so seldomly and you only use it for the top of very fast runs or sometimes for very unique trills, it kind of gets left behind or forgotten about. And so by switching the muscles that I'm using to control my pinky, instead of having this situation, I now have this situation. And if you see, it's actually a pretty solid angle. This whole side muscle down the side of my hand is what is controlling my pinky, which gives me a much stiffer, rigid, more precise control over this finger.